Hi. There's a channel on YouTube that I follow called The Mind of James. I'll link it here below. But something that he does that I find pretty inspiring and challenging is that he just reads. And he'll pick a book and read it. And usually he's studying philosophy and literature. And so he's reading books that I kind of like anyway. And so I thought I would do something similar. And so I'm going to start with this book. I will also link it below. It's Ancient Echoes by Walter Brueggemann. And the subtitle is Refusing the Fear-Filled, Greed-Driven Toxicity of the Far Right. The copyright is 2023. Walter Brueggemann's been around for a minute. Let's read just a second. I'll go ahead and read his little biography on the back of the book. Walter Brueggemann is William Marcus McFeeters Professor Emeritus of Old Testament at Columbia Theology Seminary, an ordained minister of the United Church of Christ. He is regarded as a premier Old Testament interpreter and biblical theologian. Among his many publications are The Prophetic Imagination and Old Testament Theology. And so, again, he's been around for a minute. I just recently read a book on the gospel hope written by him, and it was very good, challenging. I call myself an armchair theologian, but I read lots of stuff. So hopefully this will be a fun little journey and not too cumbersome as a vlog. And I'm really doing it for myself. So if there's anybody out there that enjoys it, that's awesome. And welcome to the journey. I'm at my mom's house, so this won't be the usual background. I don't know what that's going to be. It's probably going to fluctuate, and I'll probably read from my car a lot, like the Mind of James does. Anyway, so let's get started with the preface. In his book, Evil Geniuses, The Unmaking of America, A Recent History, Kirk Anderson has provided something of a roadmap for the history, ideology, and intent of the right wing as a political force among us. In these several pages, I have responded to Anderson's rich, suggestive work, and have played upon his own articulation of the right wing. I have done so for two reasons. First, I have no doubt that the Bible provides guidance and resources for our current political situation and standing ground from which to resist current right-wing ideology and to host alternative visions of social well-being. My title, Ancient Echoes, intends to reflect that conviction. The Bible, ancient as it is, continues to emit echoes that take the form of both assurance and summons. The assurance from biblical faith, variously expressed, is that there is a coherent governance of creation that is bent toward well-being, shaped as restorative justice and enacted with generous compassion. The summons that echoes from the Bible, also variously voiced, is that we human agents are recruited into that work of well-being in shaping of social practices, policies, and institutions toward justice, and into the daily practice of generous compassion. These echoes, which are readily available as we have ears to hear, offer firm standing ground that is contrasted with the fearful, greedy, hate-filled intent of the far right that tilts too readily toward violence. It is possible to stand on the promises! Exclamation point. Second, and of equal importance, with urgent practicality, I believe that the communities directly funded by the biblical tradition, the synagogue and the church, are indeed summoned and authorized to speak out on the force of right-wing ideology on behalf of hospitable neighborliness. It is now high time for the synagogues and their rabbis, the churches and their pastors, to speak out about this crisis moment in our society. These communities have a deep stake in the flourishing of democracy, and a solid reason for refusing and resisting the propensity of fascism that wants to reduce political influence to the privileged and entitled few. These expositions are my modest attempt to exhibit the ways in which biblical faith offers a compelling alternative to the politics of fear and violence. In each instance, I have juxtaposed a right-wing claim, as delineated by Anderson, with a biblical text. That juxtaposition, in each case, I take to be persuasive. But I could have as well appealed to other texts, precisely because the Bible teems with testimony to a different sort of public practice that is in sync with the will and intent of the good, generous Creator God. It is my hope and intent that this little collection might be of some use in these communities of faith. I hope that it might be a resource for congregational leaders, rabbis, and pastors who are ready to step up to the hard, demanding public issues, and perhaps this collection might be a useful resource for congregational study. I have no doubt that if there is to be a sustained resistance to the current turn among us from greed through fear, from greed through fear to violence, it will be based in such communities that have staying power, courageous leadership, and that are deeply and knowingly grounded in the biblical text. I finish the preface with these waves of gratitude. First, to Mary Brown. I first wrote these pieces for her blog platform, churchanew.org. I am grateful for her permit and encouragement with them, and now to circulate them more widely. Second, I am abidingly grateful to Carrie Newman and his Fortress Press colleagues for their willingness and readiness to move these pages along to publication. Third, and most important, I am grateful to Tia Brueggemann, who is, it's Latin, and my Latin is rusty, who is sine qua non for my work. Not only does she edit my work in ways that protect me from too much carelessness, but she is my continuing interlocutor on these urgent issues. On all counts, I am grateful to be able to continue my work into old age, and grateful for the good company of readers who lend me their support and encouragement. I am glad to salute Christina McGaw Brueggemann, who continues to practice her fine medical arts with a caring human face. Walter Brueggemann, Columbia Theological Seminary. That's the preface. I'm probably going to go ahead and record the first chapter. I've got a few minutes before I've got to move on to my next thing today. So hopefully y'all find some encouragement. I already feel good about what's going on. And anyway, see you soon.